slam you cakap
Mana?
Tak ada slam cek CCTV lah. Jika saya ada slam saya bayar. Rosak semua saya bayar. Kita pun tak ada slam you marah pun soal marah saya pun tak ada cakap apa. Hei, saya customer kan? Saya customer kan? You tahu saya customer tau? Cek CCTV.
Bukan CCTV. Panggil.
Aku boleh rekod.
Report lah. You cakap hantar lah.
Saya kerja kotor kan? Saya pun panggil polis kawan kan?
You cakap
Saya tak
hantar.
patut punya. Kita memang tak ada slam, you boleh cek CCTV lah.
Pakai CCTV lah. Bukan CCTV. Cakap hantar.
Jika saya slam, saya bayar tau. RM500 saja Kita tak ada You selalu marah saya so okey yo. Saya cakap sorry sudah sebab saya tutup mah. Saya tak tahu sini law mah.
Suka tutup.
Saya pun tak ada slam oh.
You manager. You boleh tutup lah. Manager. Bukan bagi manager kamu? Apa sahaja ada undang?
CCTV. First kali saya hantam you selalu marah saya pun tak ada hantam juga. Tunggu lah. Oi,
Mau tunjuk.
saya mau CCTV. Jika saya hantam, saya bayar.
Ngomong apa dengan SOP?
Alright, now, this is a video and I'm gonna show you a very nice little funny image, well, perhaps a meme that encapsulates this whole video clip right here. We need to have conversations about this. Now, forgive me for the all too sudden, but like, let me tell you, this image right here encapsulates the absolute diabolical mess that is people playing arcades, especially the Chinese. Especially the try-harding Chinese right there. I'm telling you, they are some of the most diabolical Wangan racers that I've ever seen in my life. I wouldn't even call them racers, nah. They are worse than domestic abusers in my opinion. Alright, there you go. Here is the evidence of this most diabolical gameplay that you're gonna ever see from the guy's Instagram. Yes, everybody, all of this is taken from Instagram. We call brought to you by Meta, brought to you by Facebook, brought to you by Mark Zucker, whatever that is, okay? Zuckerberg, that guy who was in Congress. Now, let us move on from that. Let us move on and let us go into the most diabolical rubbish that I've ever seen in my entire life. This kind of driving is worse than road rage. This kind of driving is more diabolical than watching Nikita Mazepin drive a car. This kind of rubbish is more... look at that kind of defensive driving. This is what we call haram. This is more than just haram. No, this is terrorism. This is even worse than terrorism. No, this is what we called Benjamin Netanyahuing your way to destroying the arcade. Benjamin Netanyahuing your way to spend $500 just to stat pad all your cars and sell them for profit. These are the worst kinds of people to play Wangan. These are grifters. These people are stat padders. They absolutely max the freak out of your car. Like the freaks, yes, just like Diddy parties. And they absolutely destroy the arcade in the process. Yes, they're making tons of money, but where are the damages? The damages go to the arcade. That is why the thing was shut down. In that particular Molly Fantasy. That's why that place was shut down. Look at how the brother is diabolically smashing. No, it's not even smashing. I'm going to describe it real quick. The moment you enter steering lock, and that is for you people who are going into driving license. The moment you hear steering, moment you enter steering lock, you cannot steer anymore in that particular direction. If you go on right far enough, you reach steering lock to the right. The moment you reach steering lock to the left, you cannot turn more left anymore. The steering wheel can't go 360 degrees. Just like in a real car, that's from the ones I've been driven so far, the real steering wheel can only go 2 rounds to the right or to the left before it enters steering lock. For this particular arcade, for example, it only has 1, and I think other driving arcades also have the same. Now, the real diabolical part is the way the players not only absolutely How do they hammer the steering wheel? They violently turn right, left, and then they absolutely reach steering lock at the speed of Red Bull dropping Christian Horner. I'm telling you, this is rubbish. This is the most diabolical kind of driving I've ever seen. That is not just terrorism. No, that is worse than that. Okay, that is worse than whatever crap is happening in this world. Let me tell you, this is like watching Sam Altman trying to take over the world with open AI. That is like watching the AI bubble growing bigger and bigger without it ever bursting. This is how bad things are gonna be. This is how bad things are in this world. These people are like AI investors pouring all of their money into AI and watch the bubble grow bigger. Okay, enough of the AI bubbles, okay? I'm really clearly yapping here. But the real point is that these people, and now look at how they are treating the gear shifts. Yes, most of them are driving manually. Yes, there is manual transmission in this game, which is often the most preferred way for people to do their kind of, whatever that is. The kind of steering or whatever. I think I'm putting it way too kind to even call it steering. This is what we call car abuse. This is what we call arcade abuse. Look at how these brothers are abusing the absolute flow out of the steering wheel, and even some of them, in a fit of rage, even hit the screen. I cannot have for the life of me even treat this as a smashable object. Seriously. I want you to pause for a minute. I really need to pause. Look at how these brothers right here. These brothers right here. That is the problem with the Southeast Asian communities. And that is the problem that Japan is facing as well. People who treat these arcades like trash. People who treat these arcades like they are Vinicius Jr. People who treat these arcades like they're Xabi Alonso. I will say, this is an insult to Xabi Alonso. I'm sorry, I hope he goes to Liverpool. But these people need to learn to get a job. I would rather have them as my Grab drivers than to drive on this, even though I know that if they drive like this on a road, an actual road, they're gonna get into an accident. I wouldn't mind risking my life over this. And that is what happens. Now look at this. This is what happens when you go way too far. Look at the steering wheel popping off there for a short while. I had a clip. Now that is the problem with abuse. That is the problem. Now look at how they smack the screen. They go into steering lock so quickly that the screen made contact with the steering wheel. You had to be insane to do that. You need to be as insane as... How do I say this? You have to be as insane as a Manchester City fan. You have to be as insane as a Getafe fan. Because this kind of diabolical shambles is not what... Oh my goodness, man. I really can... I have enough. And look at this. Look at how abuse can affect an arcade. The steering wheel is still kind of there, but look at how they're moving. Look at how this cabinet is holding on to its dear life. Oh, the Bana passport. Oh my days, mother. I cannot believe this. Look at this kind of rubbish happening. This is the problem that is plaguing the Asian population, in my opinion, especially Southeast Asians. You guys need to get a grip. And that is why I admire Australians. At least they give the arcade some respect. At least they're using their brain rather than their hands. At least they're not P. Diddy. Okay? They're not going hard with these arcades. I'm sorry, I gotta make a Diddy joke, but this is right, man. Because these people, they treat them like how Diddy treats women. Like how Diddy treats men. I'm sorry, bro. This is the real truth. I gotta spit, alright? But some people... when they know how to drive, when they know how to drive well, when they know the boundaries of this machine, they are successful. And I'm telling you, people who don't smash, who don't absolutely clatter their way to the end of their wits with these arcades, they are successful. They are real successful. Australia, I love you. New Zealand, I'll probably love you. Taiwan, Hong Kong, I'm worried for you. China, I'm also worried, brother. The Chinese, I'm sorry, the Chinese over in Southeast Asia are gonna do it as bad as the Chinese in the mainland China. and the Chinese in Taiwan, I'm worried that they're gonna do the same. I'm mad worried, bro. And Hong Kong as well. Who knows what the hell happens in Macau? Yeah, I know. This is like hell. This is like hell. Every time I go to these arcades here, it feels like hell. The tire, the steering wheel is as slippery as baby oil. No, even worse. You have little to no control. Like, you have control, but the oversteer is insane. Okay, nah, the videos are all finished, man. I had no time to do this, okay? I gotta catch up with life, okay? But I'm gonna show you a photo that encapsulates all of this rubbish right here. So, yep, Ren Sheffield once said on Instagram, another average slammer thinking he's tough. This is one of the most truest things that this blood has ever said in his entire life. One of the most truest things, because this is the problem with people on driving arcades. They just do anything. They just go full deuce. They just go the full deuce. They absolutely go all out. They're cooking too much. No, it's not even cooking too much. They're overcooking the arcades to the point of breaking. And that is as bad as taiko players. I'm telling you, I swear. Taiko people who have no idea playing taiko, slamming the absolute sticks onto the drums. It saddens me, my friend. It saddens me, but at the same time, it's an inevitability. One Gun Midnight does not deserve that kind of fate, bro. One Gun Midnight arcades deserve some dignity, some respect. Not people absolutely slamming the steering wheel by steering it right, steering it left, the steering lock in like half a millisecond. And now, bro, y'all need some control. Because now the steering wheels, they feel like what? I'm telling you, I feel like Alex Albon trying to drive Max Verstappen's car. And I'm telling you, we all know how Alex Albon did in 2020. Brother was cooked. Sergio Perez in 2022 onwards. Brother was actually cooked. 2021, yes, he was less cooked. But, man, we all know Red Bull is the cook fest. They cooked the second driver's seat. Because Max Verstappen has been given so much oversteer. What do you mean by oversteer? Jeremy Clarkson explained it best, or Richard Hammond. When you're steering right, you don't see the tree that kills you. That is oversteer. When you're understeering, you see the tree that kills you while you're trying to steer to the right. But in One Gun, unfortunately, you're probably gonna get oversteering. You're getting cooked. Because this steering wheel, they got no tension no more. They are looser. They are looser than what happens to you after you enter a party. And you know which party I'm talking about. I'm sorry, but this is the problem. So, yeah, that's all for the video. I really hope that one day we as a community, we as a society, finally treat our arcades with respect. Especially the slammers, man. Especially the slammers. Like, come on. My word. Thank you for watching. And I don't know what else to say, man. I'm speechless.